Hello Pokemon card collectors, are you guys excited about Destined Rivals? I actually think it's one of the best sets that's come out of Scarlet and Violet, especially the illustration rares. I mean, I think this lineup gets pretty close to the likes of Paldea Evolved, Paradox Rift, those kind of early sets. I think these illustration rares are phenomenal, and yeah, let's get started. So today we're going to be ranking these illustration rares starting with Yanma. So Yanma is a really nice card. I think it's so suitable for the Pokemon itself. I absolutely love these early generation Pokemon illustration rares. I love how it's kind of in its natural habitat, but also has that slight kind of watercolory but dark feeling also, which kind of complements it being in the Destined Rival set. So yeah, I think that this card is a really solid illustration rare, and it would be good to start this out with a B tier. So next up we have this gorgeous card. I think this one is super beautiful. I mean, Roserade isn't like the craziest fan favorite Pokemon, but Cynthia is very kind of loved in the Pokemon TCG space, and I think that it is a really awesome card. Just the style of the card, the style of the artwork, there's nothing kind of cartoonish about it, and therefore it's very much in the style that I really appreciate and really like. I could even see this card as like a special illustration rare looking super awesome. Obviously we have the Garchomp, which looks incredible, but yeah, this one I think is a really gorgeous card, and I'm actually going to go ahead and put it in the S tier. I think it's that good. I think it's worthy of an S tier ranking, and yeah, so I'm going to go with the S tier for Cynthia's Roserade. Next we have the Shaymin, and I do really appreciate the pastel colours of this Shaymin card. I think that it does highlight the Pokemon really well, and I think that the composition is super nice, and yeah, like I said, the colouring really kind of takes this card into a different area where there's not a lot of cards that have this kind of colouring, and it also is very kind of clean. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put this one into the A tier. So now we have the Dwebble. So yeah, I think out of all the cards, there may be one or two more that I'm going to put lower, but I think this one it would kind of have to be a D tier card. I just think that I'm not a massive fan of that kind of the graphic style of this card, of this kind of artwork, and I just think that even if it was a different Pokemon, it's kind of strange the perspective on the card. You're kind of looking down on it, and the composition is very top heavy. So I really don't feel that this card kind of deserves to be a lot higher than in the kind of base tier. So now we have this card, and this card is super unique. I haven't seen any illustration rares not any that come to mind straight away, that have this kind of duotone split between a really bright color and the dark black. The contrast is just awesome on this card, and so appropriate for the Team Rocket set. I just love this card so much. I mean, I think in my original tier list when I did the Scarlet and Violet base set, there was a Spider card, and I just, I put that one in the D tier. But this card is absolutely insanely cool. I mean, it's the composition is awesome, the energy of the card, the fact that it's a Team Rocket card as well. I just love it so much, and for that reason I'm going to put it up in the A tier. So now we have the Hydrapple. So the Hydrapple, this isn't one that really gets me excited, and I do believe that it's partly to do with the Pokemon. I'm not the biggest fan of the Pokemon itself, but I will try and analyze the artwork itself, and I just think that it is slightly flat when you look at it compared to the Rapidash as well. They're two cards that just feel a little bit washed out compared to a lot of the other really awesome cards in this set. And for the fact that it is the Hydrapple, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it into the C tier. So next we have the Rapidash itself. I rate this one a little bit higher than the Hydrapple, simply because not just to do with the Pokemon, but I also think the composition on this card is a little better. And I think the contrast between the face of the Rapidash and the sky behind, and the fact that it's so large, is quite unique. And I think that the foreground kind of works in this card. I think it's like a very pretty card, and I would hesitate to put it above the beta, so that's where I'm going to go. Next we have this awesome artwork, the Ethan's Typhlosion. It's so cool to see Typhlosion get an illustration rare. I can't wait to see Meganium and Feraligatr get one as well. That would be awesome. So we have this Typhlosion card, and yeah, it is in a battle scene. Usually I gravitate towards the cards that are really kind of clean, and therefore I might have problems with this kind of card where there's so much going on. But I think, how can you not love this card? It is just so cool. The action pose. I'm gonna go ahead and put it up into the S tier as well. So many awesome cards in this set. Let me know, what do you guys think? Is this one of the best sets of the Scarlet and Violet era? I would probably have to say so. I mean, when you take into account, I mentioned like Paradox Rift and Paldea Evolved, but I think what this set has is it has really strong illustration rares, as well as a really strong special illustration rares as well, which, say you take something like Paldea Evolved, it probably doesn't have as strong, even though they're kind of beautiful. The special illustration rares aren't as probably strong as the Destined Rivals ones. So for that reason, I probably have to say this is one of my favorite sets. There are so many cards here that I really want to get hold of. So yeah, let's keep going with the Houndoom. This card is really cool. I think the composition, the fact that the person is like standing below the Houndoom as it jumps, I just think that it's like a unique artwork as well. It's like really menacing, perfect for Team Rocket. And yeah, I can't put this one any lower than the A tier. I think I'm going to put it into the A tier itself. I think it's close to being an S tier card. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think it's an S tier card? Let me know in the comments. So next we have the Blaziken, and I've seen a lot of people online talk about this Blaziken and say they're a little bit let down, but I have to say I absolutely love this card. I think it is so cool. I just love the motion of it, and I love that it just feels really clean, and it's almost got this like juxtaposition between the serenity of the actual artwork itself and the style of the artwork itself, and then the actual action of the Pokemon in it. And I just really love that, to be honest. So for me, this is an S tier card easily. So next we have the Misty Psyduck, and I'm just going to come out and say it. I think this is probably my favorite card out of all of the illustration rares in this set. I just think it is such a artistic concept to me to have Misty in this pose under the water with the Psyduck. The actual perspective that you're looking down on, I just think it's so creative and so well done, and I absolutely love this card. I think it's like a really unique card, and one that's going to be talked about for a really long time in the context of this Destined Rivals set. So yeah, it goes without saying that for me this card is an S tier card as well. So next up we have the Lapras, and here's where some of my bias might come in. But for me, again, this card is absolutely stunning, and the thing I like about it is its simplicity. And like I've kind of said before in some of these tier lists, what I'm looking for, especially in these earlier generation Pokemon, I'm really looking for just a little art piece of the Pokemon itself, as long as it feels like really appropriate to the personality of the Pokemon. I think it doesn't matter if there's not like a ton going on, as long as the artwork is like really clean and well executed. And I think this is an example of that. For me, again, this is probably going to be my like highest ranking video ever, because I just love this set. I think that this Lapras is an S tier card for me. So next we have the Clamperl. I think it's pretty cool that some of these more like obscure earlier generation Pokemon are getting a lot of love with the illustration rares. Like this one kind of reminds me of the Relicanth that came out in Temporal Forces. It's got the kind of same feeling. And for me, I would kind of put this one on the same level as, say, like the Yanma. So I think that, again, this is a B tier card. So now we have the Electrike. And for this one, I think I'm going to have to put it a bit lower than the Clamperl. Again, I do really like the symbol style, but I think this card specifically, it does fall slightly flat in terms of it doesn't really present the actual Pokemon in a context where I think it's like super appropriate. It just doesn't, there's not like any story there, or it doesn't really make a ton of sense to me. So I think that for me, this card, it's between the C and the D tier. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put it into the D tier, just simply because I just, I do like the Pokemon itself, but this card doesn't make me want to like go out and collect cards of this particular Pokemon. So I'm going to go ahead and put it down into the D tier with Dwebble, so he has some friends. So next up we have the Rotom, and Rotom is a Pokemon that I actually really enjoy collecting. There are some, I really like the multiple forms it has with the washed Rotom and the Moa Rotom and all of those kind of cool forms. So I really do like the Rotom, and the Rotom in Lost Origin is awesome. But for me, this one, it's kind of done in the style that I'm not particularly a massive fan of. Similar to the Vanillish in Paradox Rift. I think this one is just, it's very busy, and I think the style is kind of cartoonish and something I'm not particularly a massive fan of with these illustration rares. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and put it into the C tier. So next up, we have this really awesome card. It is the Rocket's Orbeetle. And for me, I know that maybe some of the fan favorite Rocket Pokemon, some of the fan favorite like Dark Pokemon didn't get illustration rares, but I actually really love this card. And it just feels so appropriate. It's like the Team Rocket member like sneaking around. I just think it's such a nice story card. And yeah, I'd be very happy putting this one up. It's between the B tier and the A tier for me, but I actually think I just love the Rocket cards so much. I'm going to go ahead and throw this one in the A tier. So again, we have the Wheezing, and this is kind of a similar story as well. I think I just love these story cards, these Rocket story cards. I just think it's so cool, them like sulking around. It's just such a cool thing having these kind of artworks. And yeah, the Wheezing is definitely one that I really enjoy as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one in the A tier. So now we have the Murkrow. And yeah, I think this one, out of the three, the Orbeetle, the Wheezing, and this Murkrow, I think that the Murkrow is probably the most good-looking card out of those three cards. I think that the fact that it's got like the cityscape behind, it has kind of the same vibes as the Persian from Shrouded Fable, looking out on this night sky, and you've got the rockets. I think that's Ariana, isn't it? That is such an awesome artwork. And yeah, I just love like the blurriness of the lights in the background. Such an awesome composition, such a beautiful card. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put this along with the other Rocket cards in the A tier. So now we have the Zamazenta. This is one I didn't really play like the Sword and Shield games, so I'm not like particularly attached to the Zacian and the Zamazenta, but yeah, it's a really pretty card, I would say, and I think it would be unfair to put it anywhere below the B tier, just because I think that it's a really well done artwork and a really beautiful piece of art, and for that reason, yeah, I'm going to put it up into the B tier. So now we have the Raticate and the Meowth. So the thing is with these is I really do like these cards specifically, but they're not done in like my favorite kind of style, but just for the reason that they are like the Rocket cards. I think in this sense, like that kind of cartoony style, it's like devious, it's it's humorous, it's funny, like it kind of makes the Raticate appealing when it's like not like a really appealing Pokemon. It just, you know, giving it that kind of mischief and that kind of story really helps the card. Yeah, so I'm going to put this one up into the B tier. So now we have the Meowth, and yeah, this one's similar for me, except I think that this one is also kind of on that level of where I think that if they were done in like a, you know, the style was a little bit less, you know, like similar to the style of the Orbeetle and the Murkrow. I really like those cards, and I just think that it's Giovanni's face in this card is just so like kind of squashy and strange looking to me. That might just be me. Like, I'm sure there's people who prefer the these two cards, the Raticate and the Meowth, over like the Wheezing and the Orbeetle and the Murkrow. But for me, like, I just think that I prefer the style of those specific cards. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one into the B tier. So now we have the Kangaskhan, and this is, again, this is like everything that I love about these illustration rares, is the like the simplicity and how beautiful these cards can really look as like little art pieces and windows into the world. For me, this one is an A tier card. And finally, we have Arven's Greedent. Yeah, so this one I struggle with a little bit. I just think it's, for me, it's not really what a Pokemon, like what I really would want a Pokemon card to look like. Like, if I pulled this card, I'd just be like, you know, is that even a Pokemon card kind of thing? I just think it's very kind of strange looking. In, you know, I understand that there might, you know, people might like this kind of style, but for me, it really isn't the kind of thing that I like to look at, and therefore I'm going to put it into the D tier. All right then, thank you so much everybody for watching. And yeah, this is probably my least evil tier list ever, which is ironic because, you know, it's for the Team Rocket set, but I absolutely love this set. Let me know what you guys think of it. Really looking forward to chatting again soon. Bye-bye.